All right. Well, thanks for joining me tonight, you guys. This was very impromptu and was just kind of coming up in my heart. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to overcome my fear and step out of my comfort zone a little bit and share from the heart. I'm just going to pretend that y'all are right here in my home. And this is going to be comfy, cozy, casual style, nothing too formal or crazy, just kind of shooting straight at you from the hip and sharing from my heart. It won't take too long. And then we'll kind of go from there. If you were invited by somebody else, not from me, feel free to reach out to them if you have any questions, or feel free to reach out to me afterwards when we get done if you do have questions or you'd like any further details on the journey that I'm about to share with you. But my name is Krista Dearey. I am a Senior Ruby Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. I am married to Chad Dearey, a Senior Gold Ambassador, and we have 7 children, ages 14 down to almost 2. I can say that now. 1 more month and he's 2. We've got 4 boys and 3 girls. And I'm just going to paint a bit of a picture of where we were at before Plexus entered our lives. I was just a few months postpartum with my youngest child, Malachi, and was basically a hot mess. That kind of sums up who I was at that time. Just postpartum issues. And I had been prone to that after my other pregnancies, but after Malachi's pregnancy, it seemed like it just took on a life of its own. It was much more extreme than what I had dealt with after my previous babies. And part of that was because our 6th child, Judah, 4.5 years ago, after he was born, had 2 spontaneous brain hemorrhages in his brain. We later found out those started in the womb, but at the time, they seemed spontaneous. And it very much spiraled our life in a whole new direction. We went from 5 healthy kids, never even had an antibiotic at that point. I'm realizing now just how fortunate we were for those years and how healthy everyone was. But we went from that to a world filled with doctors, a world filled with a lot of questions of what our future would hold. Going from a stay-at-home homeschool mom to a caregiver mom who was running around town to therapies and hospitals and doctor's appointments, and no longer thinking about myself and my needs or my health. It was all about Judah. And so after Malachi came, the hormone imbalance and everything just seemed to take it all to a new level. Before, I was dealing with flashbacks to his trauma and the circumstances surrounding that. But having a brand new baby boy combined with the hormone imbalance took my flashbacks to a whole new level. Whereas it used to be that if I sat on the couch where Judah first had a seizure, I'd have a flashback. If I saw an ambulance, if I certain times I'd see the bed where he was kind of passing away when we called 911. There was certain triggers, and we had eliminated most of them, and I was doing pretty well. But now having a baby boy in my hands was this constant trigger that was keeping me in a place of the past. So I could just be feeding him and have a flashback to everything. And in those flashbacks, everything was very real. It was as if I was taken right back to that moment, right back to the pain, right back to the agony, right back to the shock. And so when you take postpartum depression and then you combine the flashbacks and everything, it just wasn't a very healthy place. And I felt locked in a prison of pain that I didn't know how to get out of. And so about 3.5 months into this, I had finally kind of shared a little bit about the flashbacks. And a friend of mine, a pastor's wife in a local town, she reached out to me and shared Plexus with me. And my first response was, no way. I am just so not interested in this. I thought it was a protein shake. I made assumptions that it had artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, artificial everything. Soy, I think I asked her about the soy too. There's no soy in it. But I just made assumptions. I didn't use wisdom. I did not trust her as I should have, because I knew her character and I actually knew that she loved holistic health. I didn't put thought into it. I wasn't spirit-led in any way. I put a wall up, assuming this was another network marketing business that was not going to help me. I had nothing against network marketing or direct sales. In fact, I love the industry, but I wasn't looking for anything, because who has time for that when they have 7 children and when they're a hot mess? It wasn't going to be me. And so I kind of brushed it aside, and for 2.5 months continued to brush it aside. But in that 2.5 months, my health got worse. to the point that if I was to show you my journals, they basically were, God, why did you even make me? What's the purpose to my life? Why am I even here? Chad and the kids would be so much better if I could just be done with my life. And that's very raw and very vulnerable, especially when maybe half of y'all are strangers, but I want to be very transparent that I was broken. But what I didn't realize was much of that brokenness came because my body was very out of balance. And so I was trying to treat the emotional side of it and the mental side of it and think right and speak right and spiritually pursuing the Lord. But I was missing a component of my health. And I really believe that since we are a three-part person, you have to treat all three parts. And because my health was so out of balance, it affected everything else in me. And so I had shared with my pastor's wife that I just didn't believe in anything anymore. And she recognized quickly that I was just a hormone mess and said, Krista, we've got to get your hormones balanced. And really, that wasn't the answer I wanted. I wanted a miracle. I wanted a miracle at church so I could proclaim Jesus and what he had done for me. And didn't recognize that God had a different way of bringing that miracle. And so Chad and I began to pray about what to do for my hormones and what to do to kind of get me back, because I didn't remember the last time I had just felt like me and that I felt present. And the more I prayed, the more I kept thinking about plexus, even though I didn't want to. And so I brought it up to Chad one day and mentioned the 60-day money-back guarantee. And so our bargain was that if it didn't work in 60 days, I'd get my money back and I would see a doctor. Because really, we felt like we had tried so many things. We were spending money on my health as it was. We didn't have much extra money to be spending. And I had tried vitamins, herbs, essential oils, progesterone creams, medicine for my thyroid, B12 injections. It felt like we had tried everything. I had a cupboard full of lots of stuff, but I wasn't making any headway. And so that was our bargain, to give it 60 days. So November of 2014, I made my first purchase. I became a preferred customer, ordered from my friend's site, and got a bag of Slim. Looked just like this. I felt like such a goober. I didn't tell anybody that I was drinking this stuff because to me it looked like a diet fad. And if you've ever known me for any length of time, my struggle has not been that I put on too much weight. My struggle is actually that I tend to be underweight. So I felt really goofy drinking something called Slim. And I really didn't know much about it. I was just trusting my friend and trusting the Lord. So I started drinking it every day after breakfast. I drink it. Tasted great. In fact, I have one right here. They're kind of yummy. They taste like a cherry Tootsie Pop. And started noticing slight changes as my energy was seeming better, but I was so skeptical that I just didn't pay a whole lot of attention that first month because I wasn't quite sure I wanted it to work, because if it worked, I'd have to admit that to people. But into the second month in December, I remember Chad standing by our Keurig coffee pot looking across the way at me and saying, Krista, I have my wife back. This is the girl that I married. And I was realizing just how far I was coming. I was present with the kids, and I was having these moments of just being happy, like just genuinely happy and able to laugh and dance around with the children. I was able to notice that our house needed vacuuming, and I had the mental clarity to go get the vacuum and vacuum the carpet. And that sounds ridiculous, but when you're in this paralyzed brain fog state, anything like that is overwhelming. I could see the mess, but I was just so frozen. I really just wanted to be in fetal position all day. So I was so proud of myself. Like, Chad, look at me. I'm sweeping and I'm mopping. I'm like doing real mom things right now. And I was functioning and I was thriving. And when your health turns around that quickly, where you're not having the flashbacks anymore, you're not having the panic attacks, you're not trying to fall asleep and like frozen and shaking in fear because of just completely irrational thoughts that make no sense. When this goes away in a 60-day time frame from a pink drink, you feel a bit crazy, but at the same time, you have a passion bursting inside of you. And I couldn't help but wonder, if this worked so well for me, who else could this help? Because it was a very drastic change for me. And there was just something stirring in me. I didn't know what it was. I certainly didn't plan on it being a business or an income. But there was a passion that this could help people, because it really had changed my life. People around me were noticing it. They were noticing that I wasn't crying every time they asked me how we were. Or if someone said, so how's Judah doing this week? I wasn't just a bucket of tears. Like, I was thriving again and feeling really good. So January of last year, I signed up as an ambassador with Plexus, and I began to just take down the walls and share straight from the heart and be vulnerable about where I had been, because most people who knew me had no clue how dark my life had become. They had no clue that I didn't want to be here. That wasn't probably even on their radar, because I'm a people pleaser. And so for the hour and a half I'd see them at church, I would do my very best to be happy and present for them. They didn't know the pain that went on once I got home. But I knew if I could be transparent enough that maybe there was other people like me who were struggling in secret, who hadn't told anybody, and this could bring freedom to them too, or maybe other things as well. And the journey began, and as soon as I began to share on Facebook and Instagram, our inbox started to blow up, and a ministry and a business came of it. I'm going to touch into that a little bit later. Really quickly, I'll show you the products that I was using at the time and the ones I use now, and they'll kind of expound more on what happened from that point. All right, does that sound good? So when I first started, like I said, the only stretch that we were going to do for my budget was this pink drink. They come in these little packets. You get a bag of 30 of them in your mailbox. It's called Slim. But this was originally created to help balance your blood sugar. But when the original test group came back, they not only had balanced blood sugar, but their cholesterol was better, their blood pressure was better, they were feeling good, better energy, better sleep, they lost weight, and they realized there's something bigger here than just a blood balancer for a blood sugar balancer for type 2 diabetics. And really, I thought blood sugar balance was a topic just for diabetics. I don't know why, because I was fully aware that my blood sugar dropped quite often, because if you've ever been in that place where you've stretched far too long in the afternoon, you haven't eaten anything, and you're crabby and irritable, that's your blood sugar, right? Or for me, in the mornings, I'd be like shaky and jittery and edgy, and often that would correlate to snappy at my children. That was my blood sugar balance. So just doing that alone, just balancing my blood sugar, that's huge, and that's huge for anybody, especially if you eat any sugar ever, or if you live here in America, you probably need to balance your blood sugars a little bit. Beyond that, though, your blood sugar is your master hormone, your insulin. And when you can bring your insulin into balance, you're allowing those lesser hormones to also come into balance. And so for us girls, that's a beautiful thing. I won't get into cycle regulation or anything, but balancing your hormones can completely rock a girl's life. And every girl on here can say amen, because we all need to balance our hormones. Jamie said amen, and Debbie. So Slim is how I started. Great for your cholesterol, for your lipid levels, your blood pressure, losing weight. If you're underweight, it's great to gain weight. It sounds funny. Ignore the name. It works. For me, I'm the best weight I've been since I've been married and had kids. I've never been able to maintain this weight. Usually I did go about 10 to 20 pounds underweight for my height. So it's been really cool. I can drink Slim, but be the right size that I should be. So when I joined as an ambassador, though, it was time for me to add on other products. And I'm going to share 4 products that I take consistently that I wish I would have started with all in the very beginning, but they've all been life-changing in different ways. So the triplex combo, it has the Slim that I just mentioned, but it also has the ProBio 5, am I pointing it right? And the BioCleanse. This ProBio 5, I really wasn't excited to try. And the reason was because I was totally a probiotic snob. I had 3 brands of high-quality refrigerated probiotics in my fridge, and I thought that the more expensive the brand, the better it was. But I was very fooled because, and really just not thinking, because all 9 of us had gut health symptoms, whether it was the bathroom habits of family members, I won't go into any names, or skin issues, sensitivities to pollen or different allergens. All of us had gut health symptoms, even though we were on really good quality probiotics. And I was excited to realize as soon as we started adding this in, that we could take a probiotic and actually notice a difference. And that, in my opinion, is because of one thing. This isn't just your good bacteria. This has the enzymes and the antifungals to kill off the bad guys so that your body can absorb the good guys. At least that's how I explain it to my kids. It works. I won't go into all the science behind it, but if you have any gut health challenges, which if you live in our society and you've ever had an antibiotic or ever had sugar or any medications or drinking alcohol or been on the birth control pill, really, period, you need a probiotic. but I guarantee you'll notice a difference with this one. It's really cool, and it's blessed our lives. If you're going to be killing off all the junk in your gut, though, you need to be taking a BioCleanse. Magnesium supplement, vitamin C, helps oxygenate your system, helps keep you regular, because we all should be going to the bathroom a few times a day, right? If you're eating and stuff's going in, it needs to be going out as well. And so I've been surprised how many people have come to me who were not regular, going once a week. This is huge for your health. But beyond that, it helps with collagen production, which any girl loves. A lot of girls have said it helped with their mental clarity, easing muscle soreness after they've worked out. I love magnesium just to calm down. So I love the BioCleanse for that. But it's great to pair it with your ProBio 5 because, like I said, you don't want those toxins recirculating in your body. So when you're killing that stuff off, you want it cleared out of your system completely. So these 3 products, they're called the Triplex Combo. When you purchase them together, they do come in a discount, and that's the most popular combo on the Plexus Worldwide website. But I don't stop there. I add one more thing, and that's the X Factor multivitamin. It's fully methylated, so if anyone out there happens to know about the MTHFR gene mutation, you'll be excited about that. I won't go into that at all, but I do have that gene mutation, and my son Judah has a double mutation of that gene. And so it was a surreal moment when I heard our company announced that they were going to be fully methylating this vitamin with those people in mind, because obviously that struck a chord really quickly. For me personally, this vitamin means that I no longer have B12 injections, thanks to my husband, which wasn't his favorite time of day to have to give me shots in my hip. I would much rather swallow it than have it injected in me. And so this was another one of those products, though, that I didn't think I'd purchase. I was taking a multivitamin. It was twice the price of this X Factor. And so I just figured it worked. I didn't feel any different. I just figured it worked because it was expensive and you should take a multivitamin. But there was a couple on our team whose husband said that he didn't need his 5-hour energy drink anymore, or energy shot, or whatever it's called, after he added this X Factor multivitamin. And I thought, well, I want extra energy. That sounds good to me. And so I ordered it on that alone. I just wanted to see if it would actually help with energy. I noticed the difference on day 1 and was nursing at the time. So I know it's TMI, but noticed a difference in my milk production and in my supply. So we love this vitamin for my thyroid, for my adrenals, for my overall health, my immune system. And it's also aloe-based, which means it's going to help your body absorb 300 to 400% more nutrients, and you can feel it. So I take this with my Slim because I want my Slim to be better absorbed and better metabolized in my system. So those are the 4 products, the main ones that I take. Plexus has others as well, and many of them we use. But these are the staple products that I recommend to almost everyone that I talk to, especially every female that I speak with. If they've ever dealt with any of the issues that I had dealt with, these are my go-tos. I refer to them as the Fab Four. Many of us within Plexus do as well. So if you're new here and you're saying, okay, well, this sounds good, and Krista, I relate to your story, how would I even purchase it? There's 3 different ways that you can purchase. You can become a retail customer, which I never recommend because I hate paying full retail for anything. I love a discount, but you can do it if you like to. You just pay full retail, you hop on the website, 60-day money-back guarantee, and you're good to go. The next way is as a preferred customer. You still have that 60-day money-back guarantee. It's their auto ship program, so it's handy for busy moms who don't want to have to remember to order every month, but don't feel locked into it. You can edit that or change it up. You can cancel it, do whatever you want. You have total control. You can log in and change it. But you get a 10% discount on your first 3 months, and then if your order continues past that, you get an additional 10% off after that. The third way, though, is as a wholesale ambassador. Some people join as a wholesale ambassador simply like a Costco membership. It's $35 to join for the year. You can't beat that. It's the best $35 I ever spent. And with that, you get the best price, and you can even earn commission back on your own products. But then others join because they realize there's something more here. There's something more than just what's going to impact their own health, that they can share this with others. And it's cool that in doing that and in touching the lives of another person, you get to be blessed financially too. The compensation plan, I won't be sharing the details here tonight, but it is so fair and so generous. And the way that the Lord is using not just the products, but the opportunity has been amazing. And so that's how I joined. After being a customer, I was a preferred customer for 2 months. I just decided to upgrade and become an ambassador, and that's when I began to share. So yes, we got our products for a great price, But in sharing that first month, our first goal, Chad said, well, Krista, I don't mind the rest of us trying these products that are working for you, but they need to come out of your own income through sharing Plexus with others. So that was goal number 1, and that goal was reached in our first 3 weeks of sharing Plexus online. All I did was begin to post online about what worked for me and share my story. I purposed to share from my heart and to be transparent, and that's how the journey began. Month 2, the next goal, once we kind of made that goal and we ordered for the family of 9 here, our second goal was whether or not we could earn enough money to not need fundraisers for Judah anymore, because we were dependent on fundraisers every 6 months to meet his needs for his medical bills and therapies and medical equipment and all of that. That goal was reached month 2 when my income from month 1 quadrupled. So when it grows this fast, you quickly realize it's time to expand your dreams. Month 3, that income had doubled. By my 4th, 5th month, I was earning a full-time income as a homeschool mom, homeschooling 5 kids, having a special needs child, and a toddler running around, which, Lord have mercy, is plenty just all by himself. This opportunity has completely rocked our world. At this point now, this is what Chad and I do full time. We get to be in business together. Our income now is 1.5 times what Chad was earning when I first joined Plexus, having no clue that through this opportunity, God was bringing the breakthrough to our finances that we had been praying for a long time. 8 years ago, we had lost everything through some real estate ventures that went south really quickly when the market fell, and have just been slowly rebuilding. And I just think it's so beautiful and so cool that God can take a place of pain, a place of darkness. He can bring a miracle through something as crazy as a little pink drink, because he knew there was something bigger in store. He knew there was a sphere of influence. He knew there was people that we knew who were also crying out for an answer to their health and for an answer to their finances. And in that, he has weaved such a beautiful journey. And so if you're here for the first time, I highly encourage you not just to step out on faith and try these products for the first time and see what they can do for your health. I encourage you as well to pray about the opportunity to share these with others and see what God may have in store for you. Alrighty? And certainly feel free if you have any other questions. I'm not going to take up any further time tonight, but if you do have any further questions, reach out to me through Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and I would love to chat further. I so appreciate you guys being on tonight and spending a little bit of your evening with me, and I hope this was a blessing to you guys. I love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.